everyone, my name is Evie Lupine. Welcome back to my channel, and today I have another video for you all. I have just gotten back from Kinkfest, which for those of you who don't know, it is a weekend-long BDSM convention that takes place every year in Portland, Oregon, typically around Easter weekend. And it is a great way to meet lots of fellow Kinksters. There's a vendor hall and classes, an amazing dungeon space, specialized groups and meetups, and it's a fabulous experience, but it can kind of be a little bit draining. So I'm having a kind of self-care day today, you could say. I am giving myself a break from the liquid lipstick and the heat styling of my hair, and along those same lines, I thought it would be fun to do a video that was a little bit lighter as well. And I have done many videos over the years related to Kinkfest, survival guides to conventions, and interviews with presenters, and I wanted to do something different. So what I thought might be fun to do would be I could share with you guys what I brought in my bag with me during the daytime at Kinkfest, because it is not merely just about going to a dungeon, it is also about going and shopping for kink gear and going to classes and meeting up with people and having negotiations, all in this giant weekend framework where you are usually, unless you're local, coming from a hotel and stuff like that. And if you want to see some of the other videos that I've done over the years with Kinkfest, you can check them out down in the description box below. Now, I haven't ever done a video like this before, so I'm not 100% sure how it's going to go, but wish me luck. We're going to see how this turns out. So, I guess let's just start with the actual bag that I picked out, which is the Tokyo Nights handbag from Killstar. I got this on sale for I think like $35 on their US website. I'm not 100% sure if it's still around, but the reason why I picked this one out is it's kind of like a large handbag, but not quite as big as a like overnight bag. So it's really easy to carry. It's not too heavy. It has these really distinctive batwing accents on them. These are actually removable as well. It has the velvet detailing here, and it comes with shoulder straps, and then it also comes with another set of straps here that are adjustable. I think you could probably do this as like a crossbody bag, however I didn't use it that way. And I like it obviously because it's sturdy and it has a good size to it. I could fit everything that I needed in here, but then I also had extra room if I was bringing lunch with me or an extra sweater or something along those lines. I could also fit that in here as well. So what I actually have packed in this bag, first of all, there's a zipper on here to open it up, which I also like because it keeps everything nice and concealed. This is the first thing, is I have the Kinkfest guidebook, and it's a little bit bent from being in there all weekend, but you would get a copy of this when you went through registration, and what this has in it is one, there's an insert that has a list of all of the classes and presenters and where they're located, which is super convenient, especially for me, because while this is available ahead of time online, in the moment, trying to figure out like whose class to go to at what time and coordinating with other people, so helpful to have this as a reference. And within this, there are things like the descriptions for the classes, so you kind of know what you're getting into. There are some tips for going to workshops. There are details about the shuttle from the host hotels. There's the layout and labeling for all of the different space. There's advertisements. There's profiles for the different presenters. There's all sorts of things. So it was really nice to have this on hand during the weekend so I could, again, coordinate with people. I could figure out where I was going to go. I could see when breaks were, and it made it a lot easier to just be able to navigate the whole experience without constantly having to go up to the front of the lobby area and look at the larger scale versions of the information that they had like printed out and displayed on signposts. The next thing that I have in here is my water bottle. I have long praised the importance of water when it comes to BDSM. I have like this kid-size Camelback. I use this for when I work out. I use it for rope bondage. It's small, it's portable. There are water fountains there at the convention center, so it's not a giant deal if you don't have water with you, but this kind of allows me to be able to drink water when I'm in classes or when I'm at the dungeon without having to get up and go anywhere. And I like in particular the Camelback because the way that this nozzle works, it can go in like any direction, and so that's super convenient for doing rope bondage or when you're in the air or bent over a spanking bench. So I always like to have this on me, and I try to keep it filled up with water, so even though I'm sitting in classes for like 6 hours a day, I am still staying hydrated, so I am able to do my best when I'm at the dungeon in the nighttime. And then the next thing I have is my little notebook. This is just like one of like a writing pad set that I got from Office Depot. I am left-handed, so I don't really like the heavily spined like journals or composition notebooks, anything like that. I particularly like legal pads with like this top spiral up here if I can. And I particularly like the spirals because then I don't have to bend any of the pages. And what I would do with this is I would keep like all of my notes from the event in here. I would take notes on them, and then it's also really good if you needed to do something like a negotiation and you were writing down like people's pet life information or phone numbers to maintain contact or remember limits, or like what times you were doing things. Like, it's paper, it's versatile, you can use your imagination with this, but just having something to write on, super important. And I highly recommend, if you are planning to go to a convention like this and you want to take classes, please make sure to bring something to take notes on, because it's a lot of information, it's a jam-packed weekend, and you're going to want to be able to remember what you actually learned later. Along with that, the next thing that I have is this like pencil case. I feel like this is probably the most unexpected thing that I have in here, because it's like this little like, it's not a Sanrio character, but it is very much a like Japanese mascot character thing. I've had this for years. I've had this for so long. I think I've had this since maybe like 8th grade. It has been with me through high school and college and now into my adult life. It has like a thing where some highlighter blew out of it at one point, and I basically just keep all of my highlighters and pens in here because that makes sense. And I prefer to bring like a pouch like this with me versus just having a single pen, because if you lose the one pen, you're screwed. And this also helps me know that like I have a specific place in my bag to put the pen so I don't lose it. So that's this little thing, and it's just good to have writing utensils on hand. Again, if you meet somebody, if you want to write down phone numbers or fret life names, really good stuff, especially because you're not allowed to have your cell phone out in most places in the Kinkfest area, except for the very, very front lobby area. So you can't just hop on your phone and put in the contact info or go on the FetLife and put in your own name. So writing utensils, very important. And along those same lines, I also obviously have my phone. Now, like I just mentioned, phones are really not allowed in pretty much any of the areas in the Kinkfest Expo Center. So if you want to be able to use your phone, you have to go out into the very front lobby area. However, keeping your phone on you is probably a good idea, just in general in life, for seeing what the current schedule is and being able to meet up with people, being able to search for restaurants nearby, or being able to figure out, you know, how long it's going to take you to get back to your hotel, things like that. So obviously I have my phone on me because it's modern life, and kind of important to have your phone on you. And I also have my phone charger, which was actually very helpful, because even though I was not on my phone during the daytime for the most part, my battery would definitely drain really quickly. And so I would have situations where I was like desperately trying to be like, are you going to be at the dungeon at 8 o'clock tonight? Like, when are you going to be here? And then my phone would be at like 3% battery, and they'd be like, oh shit, like this is the only way I have to contact this person. Luckily, there are some plugins kind of just randomly scattered throughout the Expo Center. So if you need to charge your phone, going to want to have that on you so you can maintain contact with people and the outside world. One of the things I have in here is this little Leatherman case. So one of the things that we did kind of outside being at Kinkfest while we were in Portland is we stopped by the Leatherman store. They have, I think it's the only store that they have, and they have lots of like cutting tools and things like that. But what I picked up is a new knife, and it's this very like cute little knife, and I just like having things on me like this because, you know, it's nice to keep them around. I can use it for play and just for general knife related purposes, and just being like, hey, look at this cool thing I got. Do you guys want to see this knife? Because like I have a lot of friends who are really into knives. and I just kept that on me during the weekend, and it lived in my bag. So it didn't get lost because it is kind of small, and with how cramped our hotel room was, I think if I didn't have it on me all the time, it might have gotten shoved and crushed in a bag somewhere. I also have a hairbrush. I like having my hair brushed. It's nice aftercare. I want to be able to maintain the dew while I am out during a convention. Also, if I am doing a scene, if I'm doing something like rope bondage or something where my hair needs to be out of the way, got to be able to brush up the hair into a ponytail or a bun or something like that. And again, also nice aftercare, just good to have on hand in general. I don't really have a specific travel size hairbrush, so I just use this instead, which is normally what I use to, do stuff with my bangs if I'm going to be blow drying them. And the very last thing that I have in the bottom of this bag is a pair of pink safety shears. I did not originally go to Kinkfest with these. My partner bought some rope from Agreeable Agony, and they had a special at Kinkfest where if you bought 3 hanks of rope, you also got a pair of safety shears, and we have so many pairs of safety shears. We have fancy ones, we have kind of cheaper ones like this, and again, especially because I was doing rope bondage this weekend, though I trust my partners and always ask to see their cutting equipment before engaging in bondage, it's always nice to have an extra pair on hand just in case you need them for some reason. At least for me, it is a kind of peace of mind sort of thing to know that I, at the very least, have my own cutting equipment, even if for some reason my partner's like breaks or doesn't work or something else, I have another extra right there. And then on the very like inside portion of this bag, there is like this hidden zipper compartment, and I've kept my like ID and my credit card in there, and then I also kept my car keys, but I have since moved them back to like my main purse since I came home from Kinkfest. But I did keep a couple of extra things in here. Hair ties, obviously, to keep the hair up, like I mentioned, for the bondage related activities. And then I also have, I don't know if anybody would have thought of this before. I thought I was smart for doing this, but these are little electrolyte packets. This video is not sponsored by this company, but I kept a couple of sets of these in here. So these are just electrolyte supplements, and I think these are really helpful to have on hand just during the daytime, maybe after you've played or before you're going to a dungeon or during, because if you were doing something where you were playing hard for 2, 3, 4 hours a day, multiple days in a row, and you're sweating and you're potentially bleeding or dealing with rope marks, things like that, it's good to make sure that your body is staying hydrated and keeping all of your electrolytes balanced. So I like to have these on hand, and they also help me drink more water, so it's all good. And the very, very last thing I have in here is this little sample size of Arnica Cream. Or, Arnica Cream. It's Arnica. I don't actually know how to pronounce this. It's basically like a little cream tube. It's a sample size, and this is supposed to help with pain and swelling after dealing with something. Typically, it's used for like muscle pain or stiffness after you've worked out, or if you've played sports, things like that, or from like stretching too much. And I'm not necessarily entirely sure like how well this works, but it is another little aftercare thing that I have for me for after scenes. If I'm doing anything like, again, impact play, intense rope bondage, I have this, and I can use this after a scene is done to help prevent kind of uncomfortableness and swelling, so I'm not sitting on an extraordinarily painful butt for an hour and a half at a time while I'm taking a class on Saturday after I've had a really, really intense play session on Friday night. So I like having this on me, and it was just like a cute little tiny thing to keep around in case I needed it. Anyways, that's everything that I had in this bag. Now, this is just what I had with me during the daytime. During each one of the parties on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, I would pack different things depending on what I was planning on doing, and I kept a separate bag. I have like a big black and white striped bag that's like my toy bag for my toys and for travel in general, and so I would pack that with different things every night, and there was a lot of variety. Again, not necessarily everything in there would be safe to show on YouTube, so I decided not to put that into a video. Hopefully you guys found this interesting and helpful, give you kind of an idea of what maybe you would want to bring if you went to a convention. If you go to BDSM conventions, what do you make sure to have on you during the daytime or when you're around at a convention? Is it the same stuff as here? Do you do anything different? Please let me know. Any other comments or questions, you can leave that down in the comment section below. Links to related videos as well as previous videos I have done on Kinkfest you can check out down in the description box below. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe. I make videos twice a week. And finally, if you really enjoy this content, if you want to have access to exclusive content, extra videos, Discord chat, exclusive live streams, you can check that out over on Patreon. A link to that will also be down in the description box below. If you do already support me on there, thank you so much. It means the absolute world to me. And until I see you guys next time, hope you have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.